I can tell you the point where I finally got this, one of the points where I finally got this principle. Swamiji and I were walking one day. We were walking quietly. There was no conversation going on. So this thing that he said to me was not a carryover from something we had been talking about. And the way that I say it, it's as if he dumped these words right in front of me at my feet, like a big, I don't know, bag of potatoes or something. Boom! It just dropped at my feet. Like, here, what are you going to do with this? Here's what he said. Just out of nowhere. We're walking. I'm here, he's here, walking. All of a sudden he says, ask your mind what's wrong with your meditation. And I said, this was one of my commonly intelligent responses to his instructions to me. My response was something like, And as he always did when he was telling me, he knew that I just meant, would you please say the same thing again so I can hear it again? And so he did, word for word. He said, ask your mind what's wrong with your meditation. To which I intelligently responded, And this was the sequence, the way a lot of these things want. It was started with and it ended with And we walked a little further. I didn't have any idea what he meant. I had no idea what he was telling me to do. But I was smart enough to figure out that this was an instruction. My mind in there was just, it was like a computer just racing through everything it had on its hard drive, trying to find a match for that instruction. And I couldn't find a match for that instruction. So we finished walking. I'm sitting there in my head repeating this so I don't forget the instruction. You know, ask your mind what's wrong with your meditation. Ask your mind what's wrong with your meditation. Inside, it's like a mantra. And I didn't know what he meant. So I went back to my room, and I went to my notebook where I wrote down such things. And I said, and I put, a little quote mark, ask your mind what's wrong with your meditation. I wrote it down. And I didn't have any idea what he meant. And I looked at it. And I think it was, I don't know how much, a few weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks later, somewhere in there. Now I'm sitting in my own room with the door closed. Got this? I'm sitting alone in my room. And it finally crossed my mind to try it. And I'm being honest, I thought, what if somebody catches me doing this? They're going to think I'm crazy. As if somebody was going to sneak into my locked room and sneak into my locked head. Nobody would want to do that, but it was as if that. So I'm in here, and inside my head, I just repeated the words. This is what he was trying to get me to do. And I didn't know it. So I said, a bit like that. I said, what's wrong with my meditation? And from inside, I don't remember the whole story that came, but I think it started with something like, you're lazy. And there was a string of ands behind it. And I have a vague memory that there was a reaction on me, because somebody else inside said, you're lazy. And whoever I am, my surface level reaction was something like, as if to say, who are you? Who are you telling me that I'm lazy? That was the event that really got me to see this internal dialogue business. I had with me, I sort of intercepted from somewhere, a written transcript of the Sundarya Lahari video lectures that he had done. It was 4 lecture series. And so there was a little laptop computer there, and I used the find command in the Word document to search for the term dialogue. Just curious. And I found that in those 4 lectures, he literally used the word dialogue 32 times. And I missed it. And he said dialogue at least once in each of the 4 lectures. And so once I saw it, it just took what it took. It took walking with him one day, and all of a sudden, in his wisdom, he knew it was like, okay, he was going to try one more time to get through my thick head with some of these things. And this was the one on the internal dialogue thing. I'd read this book, but I didn't know anybody. I had nobody around me that was coaching me in how to do this. And so I missed it. Nobody that I knew was actively talking about this process other than Swami Rama. And I didn't hear it when he was talking about it. I was there. A lot of us were there. 32 times. I missed them all. And to my surprise, when I would hear him talk, I got away from taking notes. I just figured out this note-taking is not. But when he was doing that lecture series, I took a few note cards with me in a pocket, just in case there was anything really important. I still have that little set of note cards with a rubber band around it somewhere. And I jotted down just a few things in there. And I remembered that thing after I'd looked at this transcript. I said, I found it, and I pulled it out and took the rubber band off and flipped through. And you know what? I had actually written it down. And beside the term dialogue, I put a little question mark to note to myself, meaning, what's this? I heard it. I wrote it down, but I didn't know what he was talking about, so I didn't do it. And so it just took what it took. And that was, a couple of years later that we were walking, and boom, it just dumped it on my feet. Ask your mind what's wrong with your meditation. And so he got me in a lot of ways. It was what awakened me to this internal dialogue process. And it got me to hear from my own inner wisdom what I'm doing wrong. And I was doing good stuff. I was doing what he told me to do. I thought, and I mean I was. Sort of. Anyway, it's here. There's just incredible wisdom in these instructions here. And it bears reviewing over and over and over again.